Chosen ones, the time has come. For too long, you have endured trials, fought unseen battles, and weathered storms that others could not even perceive. This moment marks a divine turning point, a shift ordained by God Himself. He has declared, "Enough," to the forces that have oppressed you. He is now lifting you to a level beyond anything you've experienced before. The road you've walked was never meant to break you, though it may have felt unbearable at times. Every trial, every tear, every moment of waiting was part of His divine plan to prepare you for this exact moment. God is the master potter, shaping and refining you through the fire of affliction. While the process may have seemed cruel, it was always filled with love, designed to mold you into a vessel of honor for His glory. The Spirit is stirring, and the heavens are aligning in your favor. Can you feel the shift? Can you sense the weight of God's glory descending upon your life? This is not the end, but the beginning of a new chapter. A higher calling, a greater purpose, and an elevation unlike any you have known. God is about to unlock doors you never imagined, but He requires something from you in return. Unwavering faith, relentless obedience, and a heart fully surrendered to His will. Prepare yourself, for the journey upward is not without its challenges. Yet you are not alone. The One who called you by name walks beside you, empowering and strengthening you for what lies ahead. Chosen ones, it's time to rise. The winds of restoration are blowing, carrying with them the promises of a faithful God. This is the season where all that was stolen will be returned, and what was broken will be made whole. But restoration does not come without purpose. It is not merely about reclaiming what was lost, but stepping into a renewed identity and divine alignment. Your trials were not in vain, they were the groundwork for this very season. Think of the story of Job, a man who lost everything yet was restored double for his trouble. Job's unwavering faith in God's sovereignty, even in the face of unimaginable loss, paved the way for his restoration. This is your Job moment, a time to hold fast to the belief that God is working behind the scenes to bring about a greater glory. Perhaps you felt overlooked, as if the promises spoken over your life would never come to pass. But remember, delays are not denials. God's timing is perfect, and His restoration is always complete. Every seed you've sown in tears will yield a harvest of joy. Every battle you've fought will become a testimony of victory. Yet, restoration requires a response. It demands that you release the bitterness, the anger, and the pain of the past. You cannot receive what God has for you while clinging to the wounds of yesterday. Let His Spirit guide you into a place of forgiveness and healing. Only then can you fully embrace the new season He has prepared for you. As you step into this season, pay attention to the whispers of the Spirit. He will lead you to divine connections, unexpected opportunities, and supernatural favor. But you must walk in obedience, even when the path seems unclear. Trust in His plan, for it is greater than anything you could imagine. The restoration process will not be easy, but it will be worth it. Are you ready to let go of the past and step into the fullness of what God has promised? The season of divine restoration is here. Will you answer the call? The chains that have held you down for so long are not just external, they are rooted in the unseen battles of the Spirit. These chains represent past hurts, generational curses, and self-doubt that have kept you from fully stepping into the purpose God has designed for you. But now, God has declared, enough. He is breaking those chains and setting you free. Freedom begins with recognition. Sometimes, the chains that bind us are ones we've become so accustomed to that we no longer notice their weight. It's the lingering bitterness, the fear of failure, or the guilt that whispers lies into your soul. But God's truth is clear. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. 2 Corinthians 3:17. To walk into the new level He has for you, you must surrender those hidden weights to Him. Yeshua's sacrifice on the cross is the ultimate declaration of your freedom. His blood broke every curse, and His resurrection shattered the grip of sin and death. When He said, "It is finished," He meant it. Those words echo through eternity, reminding you that the power of your chains was defeated long before you ever felt their grip. But breaking free requires action on your part. You must stand firm in the authority given to you by Christ. Declare His promises over your life and reject the lies of the enemy. Surround yourself with His word, for it is a sword that cuts through every spiritual bondage. This season is one of renewal, a time to leave the past where it belongs and embrace the future God has prepared for you. But the question remains: will you let Him break the chains? Will you allow His Spirit to move in the places you've hidden away? The battle may not be easy, but it is already won. What will you do with the victory He's handed you? There is no elevation without refinement. Like gold purified in the fire, God allows His chosen ones to walk through seasons of heat and pressure, not to destroy them, but to cleanse, strengthen, and prepare them for greater glory. This fire is not punishment, it is preparation. The Bible speaks of this process in 1 Peter 1:7, which says, "These trials will show that your faith is genuine. It is being tested as fire tests and purifies gold, though your faith is far more precious than mere gold." This is your refining moment, chosen one. Every trial you've faced was not to harm you, but to burn away what could not go with you to the next level. Yeshua Himself was no stranger to refinement. In the wilderness, He was tested and prepared for His ministry. Every temptation He faced was a part of the process, equipping Him to fulfill His divine purpose. Likewise, your wilderness is not a place of abandonment, but of preparation. God is shaping you into the vessel He needs for the next season. Refinement requires surrender. The fire is uncomfortable, but resisting it only prolongs the process. Trust the hands of the refiner. He knows exactly what He's doing. The impurities being burned away, the pride, the fear, the doubt, are things that would hinder you from carrying the weight of the glory He is preparing to pour into your life. As the fire refines you, you may feel stripped down to nothing, but it is in this place of emptiness that God fills you with His Spirit, His power, and His purpose. The old cannot coexist with the new, so He is making you ready to receive what He has in store. The fire of refinement is not the end, it is the beginning. Will you trust the process, even when it feels overwhelming? What is God refining in you today, and how will you respond to His work? God is always working, even when it seems like nothing is happening. Behind every delay, every closed door, and every moment of waiting lies His unseen hand of preparation. He is orchestrating events, shaping your character, and aligning circumstances to elevate you at the right time. Preparation often feels like being hidden. You may feel overlooked, or as though your prayers are falling on deaf ears, but remember this truth: God hides those He is preparing. Just as David was anointed king while tending sheep in obscurity, God is working in your quiet seasons to prepare you for your destiny. Consider the story of Joseph. Betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, and imprisoned for years, it seemed as though God had forgotten him. Yet every step of Joseph's journey was divinely orchestrated. The pit, the prison, and the palace were all part of God's preparation for Joseph to fulfill his purpose of saving a nation. Yeshua's life also reflects this principle. Before his public ministry, he spent years in preparation, studying the scriptures, learning obedience, and aligning with the will of the Father. His preparation was not wasted time. It was essential for the mission ahead. In this season, God is calling you to trust him even when you don't see the full picture. He is preparing you in ways you cannot yet understand. The lessons you're learning, the faith you're building, and the skills you're developing are all part of the greater plan. But preparation requires patience. Will you wait on God, trusting that his timing is perfect? Will you allow him to complete the work he has started in you? The unseen hand of preparation is moving. Will you align with it? At the center of your elevation lies Yeshua, the bridge between your current state and the glory God has prepared for you. Without him, the journey would be impossible. He is your waymaker, your guide, and your strength. Yeshua's life on earth was marked by a mission to reconcile humanity to God. His sacrifice on the cross not only paid the price for your sins, but also tore the veil that separated you from the divine. Through him, you now have direct access to the Father and the power to walk in the fullness of his purpose for your life. When Yeshua said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life," John 4:14-6, he was declaring that he is the only path to the next level. To step into your God-given destiny, you must align your life with him. This alignment is not just about belief. It's about surrendering every part of your heart and mind to his will. Through Yeshua, you gain access to the spiritual authority needed to overcome every obstacle. His victory over sin and death is your victory. When you feel weak, he is your strength. When the path ahead seems unclear, he is your light. When the enemy tries to block your elevation, his name is your weapon. But walking with Yeshua requires faith. It means trusting him even when the road is difficult and the outcome uncertain. It means holding on to his promises even when circumstances suggest otherwise. Are you willing to let Yeshua be the bridge that carries you to the next level? This is not the time to rely on your own understanding. Yeshua stands ready to lead you into the fullness of God's plan. Will you take his hand and allow him to guide you? Every new level requires greater faith. Faith is the currency of heaven, the substance of things hoped for, and the evidence of things unseen, Hebrews 11:1. As God raises you to a new level, he is calling you to trust him in ways you never have before. Faith is not just believing in God's promises. It is acting on them. It is stepping out when the path is unclear, speaking life into dead situations, and holding firm when the storms rage. This season of elevation will challenge your faith, stretching it beyond its current boundaries. But this stretching is not to break you. It is to expand your capacity to carry the greater glory God is pouring into your life. Think of Peter walking on water. He stepped out in faith, responding to Yeshua's call. The moment he focused on the waves, his faith wavered and he began to sink. Yet even in his doubt, Yeshua reached out and lifted him. In this season, God is asking you to step out of the boat. The waters may seem unstable, but Yeshua is there, ready to sustain you if you keep your eyes on him. Faith grows through testing. The challenges you face are not meant to weaken you, but to refine your trust in God. Abraham's faith was tested when God asked him to sacrifice Isaac. Though the request seemed impossible, Abraham's obedience demonstrated his unwavering trust. In the end, God provided a ram, showing that his plans are always for your good. This call to greater faith is not just for you. It is for those who will witness your journey. Your faith will become a testimony, inspiring others to trust in God's faithfulness. What step of faith is God asking you to take today? Will you answer his call, trusting that He will meet you every step of the way. From the ashes of your trials, God is raising you into something beautiful. This is the promise of Isaiah 61:3, to give you beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, and the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness. What once seemed like destruction was never meant to destroy you. Instead, it was the foundation for your elevation. The ashes represent loss, pain, and the death of old things. Perhaps you've experienced seasons of devastation, where everything you built seemed to crumble. But God is the master builder. He allows what is not of Him to fall away so He can establish something greater. Look at the story of the Israelites. After 70 years of captivity in Babylon, they returned to rebuild Jerusalem. The city lay in ruins, but God stirred their hearts to rise from the ashes and restore what had been lost. Their journey was not without opposition, but their perseverance brought about a renewed city and a renewed faith. Yeshua's resurrection is the ultimate example of rising from the ashes. What appeared to be the ultimate defeat, His crucifixion, was actually the greatest victory. Through His resurrection, He conquered death and opened the door for your redemption. His power to rise is the same power working within you, lifting you from the ruins of your past into the glory of your future. Rising from the ashes requires resilience. It means choosing to trust God's plan, even when the remnants of your pain are still visible. It's a journey of faith, courage, and hope. God is calling you to rise, not just for yourself, but as a beacon of His glory to those around you. Will you let Him transform your ashes into beauty? How will you respond to His call to rise? To step into the new level God has prepared for you, you must shift your perspective to align with the kingdom. The kingdom of God operates on principles that often contradict the ways of the world. While the world values power, God values humility. While the world seeks to take, God calls you to give. This divine perspective is essential as He raises you higher. Seeing through a kingdom lens means viewing your circumstances, your challenges, and even your enemies differently. Romans 8:28 reminds us, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." Even the trials you face are being used to fulfill His plan. What the enemy meant for evil, God is turning for your good. Yeshua's ministry was rooted in the kingdom perspective. He taught His disciples to pray, "Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven." Matthew 6:10. This prayer is not just a request, but a declaration, a call to align your life with God's will. In this elevated season, He is asking you to live with heaven's mindset, to seek His will above all else. Walking in the kingdom perspective requires discernment. The noise of the world can easily drown out the voice of God if you are not intentional about seeking Him. Spend time in His Word, where His truths are revealed. Seek the guidance of the Holy Spirit, who leads you into all truth. This perspective will change how you approach every situation. Instead of reacting to adversity with fear, you'll respond with faith. Instead of clinging to your plans, you'll surrender to God's. Are you ready to see your life through the eyes of the kingdom? How will this new perspective transform the way you walk in your calling? Supernatural favor is the hallmark of the chosen ones walking in alignment with God's will. This is not ordinary favor. It is the kind that opens doors no one can shut and positions you in places you could never reach on your own. As God raises you to a new level, His favor will surround you like a shield. Psalm 5:12. Supernatural favor is not earned but granted by God's grace. It is a sign of His approval, His delight in your obedience, and His desire to see you fulfill your divine purpose. Think of Esther, an ordinary woman who found extraordinary favor with King Xerxes. That favor positioned her to save an entire nation, fulfilling God's plan through her obedience. Yeshua embodies the ultimate favor of God. His life and ministry were marked by the Father's approval. Luke 2:52 says, "And Jesus grew in wisdom and stature, and in favor with God and man." When you walk with Yeshua, his favor rests upon you, enabling you to accomplish what would otherwise be impossible. Walking in supernatural favor requires faithfulness. God does not bestow his favor for selfish gain, but to advance his kingdom. The blessings you receive are meant to be shared, to bring glory to his name, and to draw others to him. Be a good steward of his favor, using it to fulfill the mission he has placed in your heart. This favor may also bring challenges, as it often stirs opposition from those who do not understand God's hand on your life. But take heart. His favor will always outlast the schemes of the enemy. Trust in his protection and his plan, even when the road seems difficult. Are you ready to walk in the supernatural favor God has ordained for you? How will you use it to glorify him and advance his kingdom? The next level God is calling you to is not just a higher position, it is a deeper encounter with his glory. This glory is transformative, empowering, and radiant, touching every part of your life and extending into the lives of those around you. To step into this level, you must fully embrace the process of surrender, refinement, and spiritual alignment that God has been guiding you through. God's glory is his presence, power, and majesty revealed in tangible ways. It is the same glory that filled the temple in 2 Chronicles 7:1-2, when Solomon dedicated it to the Lord, and the priests could not even stand because of the overwhelming presence of God. This is the glory he wants to pour into your life, a glory that will not only elevate you, but also demonstrate his greatness to the world. However, walking in this glory comes with responsibility. As chosen ones, you are called to be vessels of his presence, carrying his light into dark places. The next level is not about personal gain, but about being positioned for his purposes. This requires a heart fully surrendered to him, free from selfish ambition, and ready to serve his kingdom. Are you prepared to carry this weight of glory? Yeshua embodied the fullness of God's glory during his time on earth. His miracles, teachings, and sacrifice were all expressions of divine power and love. Yet, his greatest act of glory came through humility and obedience, laying down his life on the cross. John 17:1-5 captures his prayer to the Father, where he speaks of the glory given to him and his desire to share it with his followers. Through Yeshua, this same glory is made available to you. To step into the next level, you must first prepare your heart and mind. This requires a willingness to let go of old mindsets, fears, and limitations. Isaiah 43:18-19 reminds us, "Forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it?" The new level God is leading you to cannot be built on the foundation of old thinking. Renew your mind daily, allowing God to replace your doubts with faith and your insecurities with his confidence. The process of elevation often involves moments of testing and challenge. These are not designed to harm you, but to refine you. Like gold purified in fire, you are being shaped to carry the glory of the next level. Every trial, every delay, and every setback is part of God's divine preparation. Do not despise the process. It is essential for your growth and transformation. As you step into this new level, you will begin to see the manifestation of God's promises in ways you could not have imagined. Doors will open that were once closed, and opportunities will arise that align perfectly with his plans for you. But remember, these blessings are not just for your benefit. They are meant to reflect his glory and draw others to him. Your elevation is not just about you, it is about the kingdom. Carrying God's glory also means walking in His authority. This authority comes from your relationship with Him and your alignment with His word. It is the authority to speak life into dead situations, to declare His promises with confidence, and to stand firm against the schemes of the enemy. Luke 10:19 declares, "I have given you authority to trample on snakes and scorpions and to overcome all the power of the enemy. Nothing will harm you." This authority is not something you earn. It is a gift from God, empowered by His Spirit. The next level will also bring greater challenges. As you rise, the enemy will try to oppose you, using distractions, discouragement, and fear to pull you away from God's purpose. But take heart, God has equipped you with everything you need to overcome. His word is your sword, His Spirit is your guide, and His presence is your refuge. Lean into Him, and you will find strength for every battle. Walking in the glory of the next level requires humility. It is easy to become consumed by the blessings and forget the one who gave them to you. But true glory points back to God, not to yourself. Always remember that you are a steward of His gifts, called to use them for His glory and His kingdom. As Proverbs 3:5-6 reminds us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." The glory of the next level is not just for this life, but for eternity. Every step you take in alignment with His will has eternal significance. Your obedience, faith, and perseverance are building a legacy that will impact generations. God's glory is not confined to the present. It is a glimpse of the eternal kingdom, where His power and love reign forever. Are you ready to step into the glory of the next level? What will you do to prepare your heart, align your mind, and position yourself for His purposes? This is your moment, chosen one. The glory of the next level is waiting. How will you respond?
Chosen ones, if you enjoy our videos and would like to support our channel, feel free to buy us a coffee. The link will be in the description below. Thanks for watching and have a blessed day.